starts right now.
A family feeling lost with one of their own missing. They're speaking with us in hopes of bringing back Austin Wiseman, who was last seen a week ago.
And the nightclub might be gone, but the memories are still there. How a former DJ at Midnight Rodeo was able to bring people together one more time.
2 people hospitalized, a family's home on the verge of collapsing, and a suspect arrested. We speak to a neighbor who heard the overnight crash that started it all.
But first, we begin tonight with an Amber Alert issued here in San Antonio. It is for the abduction of 13-year-old Joanna Luna. She was last seen in the 11,000 block of Springdale Drive way back on August 20th.
Officials believe the suspect involved is 17-year-old Richard Rodriguez, who also goes by Xavier. The Department of Public Safety issued the Amber Alert tonight after someone sent in a tip that they saw Luna in a U-Haul. Probably have had those alerts on your phone and other devices tonight. DPS says the pair was seen in a U-Haul truck with an Arizona license plate that reads AE4438. Anyone who sees the pair is asked to call SAPD Missing Persons Unit. Their number 210-207-7660. We'll, of course, keep you updated on this developing story. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies need your help finding a 25-year-old man. Today marks a week since Austin Wiseman was last seen in Somerset.
Tonight, his family tells the Night Team's Alyssa Cole they're doing everything they can to bring him home.
Here in South Bexar County, off the 2000 block of Somerset Road, 25-year-old Austin Wiseman was last seen on October 30th wearing this New York Mets baseball jersey with a dark hoodie underneath and dark jeans.
This is not normal behavior. We are in constant communication. We were together the whole day before.
Wiseman's sister, Chelsea Martinez, says the day before her brother's disappearance, he spent the day with family and slept at their parents' home. The next morning, he left for work but never arrived. His sister and brother have been looking for him ever since.
We have checked all, hospitals, any local tow yards.
They believe he was traveling northbound here on Somerset Road towards 410, but they haven't been able to locate his vehicle in this area. They say he was driving a red 2013 Cadillac.
And it does have a camera, a rear camera that is kind of hanging off. So if that's something that you see, that's a car that will stick out.
Austin Wiseman is described as 6'1" with brown hair and tattoos, showing a face of a woman on his left hand and a Mayan statue on his left forearm.
If you have anything, even if it's something small, if it could lead to any answers for us.
Yeah, the family says they're concerned because Wiseman has a medical condition that requires medication. If you have any details on his whereabouts, you're asked to call the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. Alyssa Cole, KSAT 12 News.
Morning church service interrupted by gunshots, resulting in a man being shot and killed in the parking lot. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office still working to identify that victim tonight. The shooting happened just after 10:30 this morning outside the church on South W.W. White Road near Rigsby Avenue. When San Antonio police arrived, the man was pronounced dead at the scene by EMS. Police believe the man was just leaving his car when a suspect who was standing in that parking lot opened fire on him with a rifle. The victim's passengers were able to run inside the church. The suspect took off. Police also say 4 vehicles in that parking lot were struck by bullets. What should have been as simple as picking up a friend sent one man to the hospital in serious condition after being shot. This all happening near Castle Hills, outside a home on Baltic Drive near Lock Hill Selma Road and Loop 410. San Antonio police say a woman was getting into a friend's truck when the vehicle was shot at, ending with the driver being shot in his back. He was taken to University Hospital. Police are questioning the woman and believe she may know who that shooter is.
Tonight, a woman is facing DWI charges in connection with a 2-vehicle crash that sent her car into a house and the other into a tree. It happened in a Northside neighborhood around 1 this morning. While police try to figure out what happened, a neighbor tells the Night Team's Camelia Juarez crashes like this are far too common in the area.
We heard a big boom.
Next door neighbor Martha Hernandez woke up around 1 in the morning to the sounds of a car crashing into her neighbor's home on Clear Lake Drive near Thousand Oaks and Bulverde Road.
Terrified. My parents' bedroom are right next to it, 10 feet from where the accident happened. And we were very scared.
Fortunately, no one was inside the home, but the damage to the home was extensive.
It went all the way to the alley, pushing all the furniture and things out. It almost hit the house across the alley.
When San Antonio police arrived, they arrested the driver who crashed into the house for driving while intoxicated. The passenger is expected to be okay. As for the other vehicle that hit the tree, that driver and passenger are in serious condition at University Hospital. Firefighters had to put a support beam inside the house to keep it from collapsing.
We heard screaming in the house, get out of the house, get out of the house.
Hernandez says the previous owner of the home warned her, saying the house had been hit by passing cars multiple times.
We're having that problem with the cars racing all the way from Boulevard, coming and jumping the curb and getting airborne.
Hernandez says she would like to see more safety measures in the neighborhood, such as flashing lights or speed bumps. To request speed bumps in your neighborhood, you can call 311. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Camelia. Community members are still coming together to remember a nightclub that used to be a staple here in San Antonio. The Midnight Rodeo closed in 2019, but the building caught fire on Wednesday morning. Today, dozens showed up to the property, now flattened to rubble, to share memories with well-known DJ Peter Anderberg. He served as the Midnight Rodeo's head DJ for over 34 years. The fire destroyed all of his equipment, which was locked up inside the building at the time. Anderberg says he was overwhelmed by how many people showed up to share memories of the good times.
For all the people that have come here for so many years, that they're not just customers, they're family. And same thing with the staff. Everybody that's ever worked here, come here to play and dance and socialize. Always somehow has a deeper, more impactful relationship than just customers.
Sorry about that audio issue. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Assistant City Attorney Eric Burns says the city is set to meet with the property owners tomorrow to discuss the future of the property.
Taking steps to prevent and treat diabetes. Literally, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation hosted its walk event today. Participants laced up their shoes and walked the course at Morgan's Wonderland. It's the first time for the event to be held in person in the past 2 years. Of course, the walk had to be virtually done because of the pandemic. Money raised through the fundraiser used to invest in technology that can help type 1 diabetics enjoy a full life. In addition, the event unites and inspires diabetics.
With these types of events, we get to finally have a little more faith and then see the companionship around, and it really shows that we are not alone, and that's what a lot of people feel most of the time.
Diabetes patients taking part in today's walk also able to receive information about the latest technology set to hit the market that will help them monitor their disease.
Well, we are 6 days into No Shave November, and you might have noticed a few 5 o'clock shadows and whiskers on some of our KSAT men. This is because they're participating in the fundraising event for cancer awareness. Team KSAT has already raised nearly $2,000, and last year we passed $20,000, and we're hoping to raise even more this year. The money raised will go towards cancer research, treatment, and prevention. To learn more about the KSAT guys participating or for a link to donate, head to KSAT.com.
And speaking of November, really yesterday it felt very fall-like out there. We had that front that moved through Friday night. Lower humidity moved in as well yesterday. It was chilly. It was comfortable. Today, it was a chilly start. We had some morning cloud cover, but it was a more mild finish out there. Those daytime highs were able to climb into the 80s. And likely, if you stepped outside, especially this evening, you noticed more of a muggy feel. Those south winds are back, and today we've seen that humidity quickly move back into the San Antonio area. Dew points how we measure the moisture here at the surface this hour in the 70s in Bexar County. That moisture sticks with us for the majority of the upcoming work week. Where you really will notice that tomorrow morning. We do have the potential to find some areas of patchy to even dense fog out there, as well as some pockets of light rain. Spotty showers are expected to move across parts of south central Texas, especially through the morning hours, so you likely will want to take the umbrella out there tomorrow morning with you for the morning drive. Overall, expect a warmer and muggy week. We have another front moving in on Friday. We'll have those details coming up in weather.
We have the chilling rescue video from a high-rise apartment fire that puts both the person and firefighters' lives at risk, how they were able to escape and who was injured. Plus, a simple trip to Whole Foods changed the life of a local woman forever after she was shot. What she wants people to know about her journey now, 1 year later.
And 2 more days. That's all that's left until the midterm elections. The final pushes in some of the key races nationwide and how those races are impacting our local voter turnout.
Well, the midterm elections are quickly approaching. Democrats and Republicans are out on the campaign trail urging supporters to get to the polls.
Yeah, though millions have already taken advantage of early voting, surpassing the number of early votes cast in the last midterms that were held back in 2018.
And with control of Congress up for grabs, ABC's Rhiannon Alley shows us the key races that are too close to call.
With Tuesday's midterm elections quickly approaching, Senate hopefuls are making their final push. Races in Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania among several that are tightening. A win in any of the key battleground states could determine control of Congress. In Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is locked in a tight race with Republican Dr. Mehmet Oz.
The energy in Bucks County is just amazing.
We will win big time on Tuesday. Are you all in?
Former President Trump speaking at a rally for Senator Marco Rubio in Miami.
You need Marco Rubio fighting for you in the U.S. Senate. He is fantastic.
President Biden, who has campaigned for Senator Rubio's opponent, Val Demings, and other Democratic candidates in Westchester County, New York, with Governor Kathy Hochul. She's taking on Congressman Lee Zeldin. It's one of the most competitive races the state has seen in decades.
New York, you've got 2 days. 2 days to make sure the rest of New York knows the good that they have in Kathy Hochul.
A new ABC News Washington Post poll shows the economy and inflation are the top 2 issues for registered voters, and they favor Republicans to handle both. ABC News political director Rick Klein shows one potential path for Republicans to take the Senate.
If they're able to just hold Pennsylvania, if John Fetterman loses to Mehmet Oz, then we're at a 50-50 unless there is one flip, and that's where some other states come in. It might be Georgia or it might be Nevada.
Early voting is surpassing the number of voters who cast their ballots early during the last midterms in 2018.
This election still is in the balance, and the reality is we're bucking what are usual trends. And I think we're bucking them because folks know at the end of the day, do they want to go back to the sort of Donald Trump politics that divided our nation?
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
And as part of our leading essay segment this morning, we spoke with UTSA political science professor John Taylor to analyze what we've seen so far here in the Bexar County midterm elections. As we've been mentioning all week, early voter turnout has been lower than expected, according to County Elections Administrator. Taylor says this could be in part because of the key Senate races in other states and because our gubernatorial candidates are not new faces.
The result is that, honestly, there's the other angle here, too, I should note, and it's this. Beto O'Rourke and Greg Abbott are known quantities. People are not excited necessarily because they've seen them on the ballot several times. So there's just not as much enthusiasm for whatever reason, which seems odd given the issues and the questions that come into play. You know, Abbott talking about the border, talking about the Texas economy and inflation. Beto O'Rourke talking about, look, he's been in office for 8 years. What has he done? You know, both sides can make an argument that this is an important election. Bottom line is that voters don't necessarily seem to be as interested as we thought.
Now, to watch that full interview, just head over to KSAT.com and click on the Leading Essay tab. Also, scan this QR code and it'll take you right to all of our previous election stories ahead of the midterms. You can also see a sample ballot to get you ready for Tuesday.
All right, Mia, you know what today did? Those hot temperatures, it made the birthday boy sweat on his birthday walk.
Just not fair.
It's
right,
not
Tim?
fair.
Yeah, I don't like to sweat on my birthday.
Nobody does, right? Yeah, it was a little humid out there today. Yesterday was awesome. This morning, especially early this morning, it was a little chilly, but those temperatures were able to climb above average into the 80s thanks to the addition of some of that moisture, and also the cloud cover that we found this morning was able to break up as well. So we did find more peaks of sunshine out there. Now, with that humidity in place, I do think think where most of us are going to notice that humidity is first thing tomorrow morning. We are expecting the cloud cover to increase through the overnight hours once again tonight, and that humidity will likely make for some areas of patchy fog first thing tomorrow morning. A few pockets could be locally dense in spots, hindering visibility. So that's something to think about. Maybe give yourself a little bit of extra time stepping out the door. Also, we are looking at the potential to find some spotty light showers move across south central Texas, as well as some pockets of sprinkles and a little bit of drizzle. So also, as you are stepping out first thing tomorrow morning, not a bad idea to take the umbrella with you. It could be a little damp in spots there as well. So notice as we take a look here at radar across the San Antonio metro area, we're pretty quiet out there. I do think through the overnight hours, really by about 2 to 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, that's when we'll start to see some spots of light rain develop as these south winds continue to pump in additional Gulf moisture into our area. So this is about 6 to 7 a.m. by the time we're waking up tomorrow morning and you are fixing to step out for the morning commute. Notice for places like Hondo, reaching up to Bandera, over to Leakey and Real County, and even here across Bexar County, we do have the potential to just find some additional spots of light rain move in from the south, push farther up to the north. That likely will be a continuing trend through the first half of the day tomorrow, with morning cloud cover in place as well. But then as we head into the afternoon hours, also similar to what we saw today, that cloud cover aims to break up just a little bit more. We'll just keep an isolated chance for rain through Monday afternoon, for maybe a stray lingering shower to a rumble of thunder before the day is done. But the better chance of finding some of that wetness out there, at least some lingering light rain really throughout the morning hours. All right, let's talk temperatures. It is muggy out there late this Sunday night, 75 almost across the board here over at San Antonio International, Stinson, as well as Kelly. 73 though over at Randolph on the east side of town. I do think through the overnight hours we will see those temperatures really just fall into the low 70s, so they're not really going to budge much after we see that cloud cover really start to build in here through the overnight as well. So it will be significantly warmer starting off our day tomorrow compared to what we saw this morning and even yesterday morning, thanks to that moisture. But once we do see that morning cloud cover start to break up into the afternoon, that will help those temperatures climb. Also pretty similar to what we saw this afternoon. We've got a forecast high point at around 84 degrees here in San Antonio for your daytime high tomorrow. 81 up in Bulverde, 86 down in Floresville, stretching over to Pleasanton, 85 in Hondo, 84 up in Utopia. So again, really all things considered tomorrow, check back in here with GMSA. We'll have radar looks and of course looks at the visibility values out there as well. And of course, keep your KSAT Weather Authority app handy as well. If you don't have it, just scan that QR code there. It will take you to a link where you can download it and even check the radar yourself before you do step out tomorrow morning. Really copy and paste those conditions for the most part into Election Day on Tuesday. So if you're stepping out to vote early in the morning, keep the rain jacket handy there as well. It will be warmer than average and muggy for the majority of the upcoming work week, but as we head into Friday, that's when we're expecting an area of low pressure to swing across the lower 48, and that looks to bring our next cold front into the area. Only an isolated chance for rain as of right now associated with that boundary, but if you're already missing the fall air like I am, we are expecting those temperatures to cool down with some drier air as well into next weekend. So we just got to make it through this week with the humidity.
I have a campaign. No more sweating in November.
Looks like I'll be sweating on Tuesday on election night. Can't wait for that. Thank you, Mia. We'll have a preview of Instant Replay right after this. The lawsuit filed against the Spurs and former Spurs guard Josh Primo will be the hot topic tonight on the Sports Guys. With more on what's on Instant Replay tonight, let's check in with our Greg Simmons.
And that's been the hot topic all week long so far, right? And San Antonio FC is looking for their shot at United Soccer League Championship coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
Instead of something being done about it, what instead happened was they continued to call upon her to have sessions with Mr. Primo and, of course, the other athletes.
The Spurs and Josh Primo have been sued by their former sports psychologist, Dr. Hillary Caulfield. The lawsuit claims the former Spurs guard exposed himself 9 times during sessions starting in December 2021. The Spurs dispute the timeline and details of Dr. Caulfield's claims. So where does it go from here, including now a criminal investigation? It's the hot topic tonight on the Sports Guys.
And Lindley directs back out. Manley will put it out wide. Patino into the box. Maloney with it on his feet and puts it in!
No. San Antonio FC faced off against Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC in the Western Conference Finals at a packed house at Toyota Field to see if they could advance to the United Soccer League Championship tonight. Our Andrew Seeley is there.
Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
And the Houston Astros have won their second World Series title in 6 games against the Philadelphia Phillies, and for Dusty Baker, his first as a manager. It's all part of our Sierra Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram play of the week. All that plus, the UTSA Roadrunners are coming off a double overtime road victory to keep them undefeated in Conference USA, and on a 5-game losing streak. How many more games will the Aggies win this season? Tonight, you decide. Instant replay is live and is right after the night beat.
And tune in to see if we kick that monitor behind you to make it work.
Don't hit anything, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. See you again in just a little bit. Still ahead on the night beat, Paxlovid is just one of the many treatment options for those battling COVID-19. It's making headlines after a recent study shows the benefits it provides to veterans. We'll break that down for you.
And a high-rise apartment fire leaves more than 3 dozen people injured, including several firefighters. We'll tell you what caused the fire that actually poses a risk to anyone who keeps a particular item in their home.
And we spoke to her just a few months ago after she was shot outside of a Whole Foods. And now we're checking in on her a year later, her recovery and the experience with gun violence as the night beat continues.